Welcome to Parks and Passports Podcast. Join Mike and Bryan
and Eric
as they discuss some of the latest news from the world of Disney and Universal parks. Plus, hear from other experienced travel experts and have some fun along the way. Be sure to keep all hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the vehicle at all times. It's gonna be a wild ride.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Parks and Passports Podcast. The gang is back together. Eric Hiles is here.
Woohoo! Glad to be back and glad to have Uncle Bryan back on the podcast too.
Yeah, Bryan Bonador is back with us as well.
Hey, good to be back. Good to be back. I missed you guys.
Yeah. It was very weird. Just an episode of me and Eric. It was just, I don't know, something felt off.
Don't worry, Bryan. Mike did his best to steal all of my ideas too.
I did.
So.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah, I pulled a Bryan in that episode. And I've been saying it for weeks. We have been planning to get special guests back on the show, and we have one in this episode. We have Destination Travel Advisor Raylene Coogan and our resident Royal Caribbean expert as well. Hey, Raylene.
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. So, Raylene, you recently just got off of an exciting cruise that we're going to talk about, right?
Yes, last month. I got another one coming up next week. Can't come soon enough.
Yeah, you gotta love having that short turnaround between cruises.
Yes.
So this is Raylene's first time on the show, so we want to give the audience a chance to get to know you a little bit better. So let's jump into our lightning round questions. Are you ready? Yep. I know this is a cruise-focused episode. We're going to be talking about Royal Caribbean, but our lightning round questions are mainly Disney and Universal focused. We have a few twists thrown in there. So here we go. We're going to start off. Favorite Disney park?
Hollywood Studios.
Ooh, nice. I don't know if anybody's answered that one yet. That's a good choice.
No, that's a minority choice.
Yeah. Favorite Disney attraction?
Tower of Terror.
Yes, good choice.
That's a good one.
Yeah, definitely up there for me as well. What about favorite Universal park?
Islands of Adventure.
Okay. Yeah, I think that is, well, I was going to say that is probably the popular choice. Now it might be Epic Universe, but we'll have to see how that goes with more recent.
Epic has too many stairs.
Fair. That is fair. It does have quite a bit, especially in Super Nintendo World. What about favorite Universal attraction?
Hagrid's Motorbikes.
Yeah. Once you say Islands of Adventure, that's pretty much, it's either that or Velocicoaster, but I feel like Hagrid's is the more popular choice there. What about favorite thing to do in a park that's not a ride?
People watch. Just watching the people and the families, and you can tell what families have been there for a week and what families are fresh.
Yeah, the energy level is a little bit different.
Yes.
Favorite theme park event?
Oh, we just did the Christmas parties at Disney, and they were amazing.
Well, I have to ask you, between the two, which do you prefer?
Oh, so we got rained out on Hollywood Studios night.
Oh, that's tough to judge then.
Yeah, so it wasn't a fair comparison.
Yeah, no, you got to go back and try Jollywood Nights again, I think.
But we got to ride Tower of Terror 4 times, so.
Nice. So that's a good night for you then.
Yeah.
All right, like I said, we're going to mix it up a little bit. Favorite cruise ship?
I mean, that's hard. They're all so different.
Yes.
I can't even pick
That
a
was a
favorite
very
cruise
travel
line.
advisor safe answer.
Yeah,
I would agree.
I can't pick just one.
Okay. Give me a couple. Just throw out some of your favorites.
Independence of the Seas on Royal. I
Nice.
also cruise Disney, so I like Disney Dream. And then I'm going on Wonder of the Seas next week, and I'm really excited to get a mega ship feel and see if that's on the top of my list or on the bottom of my list.
Interesting. Yeah, I want to hear your feedback on that for sure, because I'm debating if I want to go on one of those big ships sometime soon as well.
I've heard mixed reviews, so I
Okay.
want to go experience it myself.
Oh yeah, that's the only way to do it, because reviews are gonna, you hear other people's opinions about everything, but you never really know how you're gonna feel about it. What about your favorite tropical destination? We're talking about, those cruise destinations. So where's your favorite place to go?
We just went to Grand Cayman, and
Ooh,
I'm not a swimmer, so I love to cruise, but I normally don't go in past my ankles, and the water was so beautiful and so warm in Grand Cayman that I actually swam.
Nice. Love that. I have not been, and that has been, near the top of my list for a long time. Um, Favorite tip or trick to share? Generally, we talk about, theme parks for this question, but open it up to whatever you might have.
So my one thing that I tell guests to take is there's a $10 sound machine off of Amazon that I have, and those cruise ship walls are not very thick. So bringing a sound machine is key and making sure that you know where your room is. If you are a light sleeper, you don't want to be right above or below the casino or the pool deck.
Yeah, I love that. I'm a white noise sleeper as well. Yeah, that's definitely a good call. And then finally, I feel like I know the answer to this one, but we had to throw it in here anyway. What's your favorite non-theme park vacation?
Cruises.
Good
well,
answer.
those are like theme parks in the waters. That maybe that doesn't count.
Yeah. It would have been really weird and disappointing if you had been like, hiking. It would be like, maybe we need a different guest for this episode. No, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Like I said, we will be talking about your Raylene's recent vacation here, and we're going to talk about Royal Caribbean specifically. But we have some news to discuss first before we get into that. And the big news, doesn't necessarily pertain to us all that much as we talk about travel, but it felt weird to kind of pass it up. Disney has announced that their next CEO is Josh D'Amaro, formerly the head of parks and experiences. So I wanted to get you guys' feelings on this. Eric, I imagine you have some thoughts.
Yeah, I'm actually in favor of this because, it's good to have somebody from the parks in charge of the overall organization. Hopefully that will bring some new exciting things and maybe some exciting announcements coming at a D23 either this year or down the road. Would really like to see how he envisions the parks fitting into the overall Disney portfolio with all of the properties and everything that they own. So I'm kind of looking forward to it.
Brian, what about you?
I mean, I don't know much about the guy himself, but
Sure.
I'm pretty hopeful, honestly. It'll be nice to see everything be taken care of and maybe like have some spots that have been a bit lackluster kind of propped back up into the fold.
Sure. Raylene, did you have any feelings on this news?
I don't know much about the guy, but I mean, Disney has definitely some room for improvement. So I only hopeful that this brings some positive changes.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. We've tried to have this succession plan with Bob Iger in the past, and it didn't quite work out so well. So hopefully this goes a little bit better. I like Josh D'Amaro a lot. Just watching him in various events, he seems like a nice guy. I very briefly in passing met him. I did not have a selfie with him to post like everybody else did. But yeah, nice guy, and I like that he comes from the parks side of things because kind of figure a little bit of favoritism towards the parks, maybe, which will be nice. So, yeah, looking forward to that change, and we'll see what happens. All right, let's talk more about the parks themselves, though. Dino Land USA is now officially closed at Disney's Animal Kingdom. So, if you're heading to Animal Kingdom anytime soon, that whole area of the park will be closed off as we await the Tropical Americas section with the Encanto attractions and the Indiana Jones attraction. How do you guys feel? Any hard feelings about losing Dinosaur?
I'm heartbroken. That ride opened up on my birthday,
Oh
actually.
wow.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm a little sad that I didn't get to ride it on the last day,
Hmm.
but it's I hate to see it go. But it definitely either it needed to be updated and it didn't seem like they were going to do many changes with Dino Land
Yeah,
after so many years that they might as well change it to something else. Give it a refresh.
Sure.
I felt like we've been hearing about this ride closing for like a year. So
oh
I
yeah.
don't know if anybody else felt like that, but I was like, is it really closing or are we going to extend this?
Right. Yeah. No, it was even before it was announced. It was rumored for so long to be closing, and then yeah, they did announce it, but we never got a date. And yeah, it definitely took a long time. I was there on closing day. I did not get to ride it on closing day because the wait time was well over 3 hours when I was there. So Didn't get a chance to do it, unfortunately, but
I
Yeah,
so
so
saw
I'm gonna
somewhere it was up to like 1,000 minutes wait or something.
it was pretty crazy.
I'm gonna go with a controversial opinion because of essentially that attraction was always Indiana Jones just with
Yes.
dinosaurs.
hmm
I mean, it's the same ride vehicle, same ride system, all of that stuff. So I'm glad to see that they're actually bringing out Indiana Jones Adventure to Florida
Oh,
because I don't know if you've been to Disneyland, but it's fantastic at Disneyland.
Oh, it is one of my favorite attractions on the planet, and I am very excited for the new attraction. I'm also very excited for the Encanto stuff that we're gonna get in that area as well. So I'm definitely excited about the changes. It's just it's still that sentimental attachment to an attraction, and then it closes, so it's always a little bit difficult. Over in Magic Kingdom, Happily Ever After has been a little bit modified as the new paint job on Cinderella Castle has kicked off. Um, all this means for Happily Ever After is the lasers have been removed, so the show might look a little bit different if you've seen it before. If you haven't, you probably wouldn't even really notice. But I am excited for the original colors of Cinderella Castle to be restored. So this is a sacrifice I'm willing to make, even though this paint job is supposed to be taking most of the year, which sounds pretty surprising. But um, looking forward to the change for sure. I'm not a big fan of the pink look on Cinderella Castle.
So have they ever defined the original colors? Because hasn't it gone through like 15 different color changes over the
Yeah,
years?
yeah. I don't know. When I said original, I was like, oh, I don't know if that actually is the original, but I feel like it's the iconic. Like I think that's what people picture. Am I wrong there? Is it not? Is Cinderella Castle not that like white, gray, and blue color scheme?
Yeah, it has always been, as far back as I can remember, white, gray, and blue.
I mean, when it's not a birthday cake.
Yeah, or some pink atrocity, yes.
Yeah. Yes. Another piece of Animal Kingdom news: Rafiki's Planet Watch will be closing for several months, starting on February 23rd, as they prepare for the arrival of Bluey and Bingo. I didn't realize it was going to be this much of a transformation to Rafiki Planet Watch, but I guess it is. I guess it's going to take quite a while for them to sort of retrofit the Bluey experience in there. So this isn't anybody do Rafiki's Planet Watch frequently. This is something I tend to skip on my visits there.
Yeah, we skip it.
I can't remember the last time I actually participated in that.
Yeah,
I don't
it's
know.
been a while for me.
Yeah.
But I will say, once Bluey and Bingo debut, I will be going back there to see what that's all about for sure. I'm sure it's going to be pretty crazy. I'm sure the popularity will be off the charts, and they probably will have quite a queue for that train to get back there, unlike anything they've seen there. So that should be interesting, but we'll see how that goes. This was an interesting bit of news that came out of a survey that was going around. And we don't typically dive into these sorts of things, but this could be an impact on future vacations to Walt Disney World. So there was a survey going around for guests that threw out the idea of Walt Disney World considering a $400 annual pass discount. And this was for guests who had already visited the park. So I guess if you visited once, basically you're getting a discount on an annual pass to go back. Obviously, none of this is officially happening. Disney hasn't announced anything. It's just this idea was kind of floated out there to see how guests would feel about it. And I'm curious to get your guys' thoughts on it.
So wait a minute. They're going to offer a $400 discount on an AP if you went on a dated ticket?
I believe that is the way it was worded in the survey. I didn't get to take the survey myself. This story has just been going around. But yeah, if you already visited, you would then basically get to sort of that park ticket that you bought would become a discount, like sort of prorating an annual pass.
So that's a little sneaky because it's always been kind of an unwritten rule that you could take on the last day of like say a 7-day park hopper ticket, right? You could go in and apply the whole purchase of the park hopper ticket or that 7-day ticket to your annual pass.
Oh,
So
interesting.
maybe they're going to kind of limit that to $400 now versus what the actual non-discounted face value was because, you can buy discounted tickets, but they used to apply the full value of the ticket towards the purchase of an AP if you did it while there were still days valid on and left on your ticket.
Interesting. I had never heard that actually. I did not know.
Well, yeah, I've
This
done that like 2
First
years.
heard that too.
Yeah.
Um,
I know stuff.
See, I
But you
just
do.
got here. Moved to Orlando and I was like, all right, I'm buying an annual pass. This is, not even a thought for me. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do it. But no, it's interesting that they are. I mean, that adds a whole new layer to this. But and again, I did not take the survey, so I don't know the specific wording of it. And again, Disney has not announced anything. None of this is officially happening. It's just a survey that they are kind of getting the feelings from guests on. There was also the idea in this survey of discounting Lightning Lane Multi Pass if you purchase early. So like buying several days out as opposed to the day before or even the day of if it's still available. You would, save a little bit of money by purchasing earlier. So I don't know, curious to see if that comes to be too. To me, I don't know. I haven't purchased Lightning Lane Multipass myself. Have any of you experienced the Lightning Lane purchasing process? I imagine it's going pretty quickly.
Yeah, I've done it. I mean, it's super easy. But I mean, just everything just adds up. Like Disney is just, they say they're giving you a break, but are they really? Those lightning lanes add up quick.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. So this would make sense then if this change does happen and it's you save a little bit of money by buying it whatever the earliest in your window for purchasing it is. I don't know, any little discount on any of the Disney products makes a lot of sense. So be curious to see if anything comes out of that survey.
I say bring back the Fast Pass.
We want the paper fast passes. Bring back the
Yes.
machines. We want to
Yes.
be rushing to those kiosks first thing in the morning.
That don't cost anything. Those ones.
Right. All right, let's jump over to Disneyland, where Paint the Night has returned. I am excited about this as someone who has never seen this parade in person. I don't know when I will be seeing the parade in person, but I hopefully I will sometime in the near future.
Yes, you should see it. It's actually quite amazing.
Yeah. Have you, Eric, have you gotten to see, as our Disneyland person here on the podcast, have you gotten to see Starlight at Magic Kingdom yet?
Yes, I have. I saw it back, was it, I think last year?
Yeah, it was in last summer it debuted.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw it last summer when I was down there for a travel advisor event.
Nice. Okay. How do you feel it compares to Paint the Night?
It's similar.
Okay.
I don't know. I like Paint the Night kind of better. Starlight's cool. I mean, it's great, but Paint the Night just seems to have more characters that I like in it, and it, they do, if they return back with the original Paint the Night, they'll do projections on everything. So they'll bring projections on, the shops and buildings on Main Street. So it all
Right.
brings the whole park back together in there, and it throws in like different elements where that things change in the park on the buildings and on the castle and stuff like that. So I like it because it's more immersive.
Okay. Yeah, I do. I feel like Disneyland does that a little bit better. Like I loved the Mickey's Mix Magic show out there with all the projections on Main Street. So yeah, I need to get out there and see Paint the Night for sure. And we will, thanks to Destinations Travel Advisor and frequent guest of the podcast, Patrick O'Connor, we will have video of Paint the Night on our YouTube channel very soon. So head over to youtube.com/D2Travel to check that out. Disneyland is also going to be hosting the Super Bowl champion Seattle Seahawks on February 9th. Sorry, spoiler alert there.
Nice. Did you bet 10 now, folks?
Wow.
Yeah, sorry, I read the script early. Yeah, so the Super Bowl champions will be going to Disneyland this year, not Walt Disney World, and the parade will be happening the day after the big game. So February 9th, you'll be able to see whoever the Super Bowl MVP might be.
Well, so the big game is actually like 25 minutes away from my house.
Oh, that's
25-minute
right.
drive down in
That's
Denver.
right. There will be people
Nice.
parking in your driveway.
Could be, yeah. I was thinking about charging people for it.
Yeah, it's
Do
not
it.
honestly not a bad idea. You can get a couple $100 for that spot.
Mm.
Do you guys have I obviously just made my pick. Do you guys have a pick?
Anybody except for the Patriots.
I agree. I'm a Bills fan, so anybody but the Patriots.
There you go. Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, since it can't be our Bengals this year, I mean,
Right. No, we don't even have to talk about them.
Take me back to 2008. I say Patriots.
Okay. I had a feeling Brian was going to be the lone dissenter here.
Yeah,
I
dude,
got to. No
you're a
one else said
Michigan
Patriots.
fan.
I got to
Come
be the
on.
one.
I do like Drake May, so I will give them that. But okay, we're not going to go down a football rabbit hole here because we could easily do that.
We could, but yeah.
We would
But-
chastise Brian all over the place.
More Disneyland news. There was some new details announced for Disney Channel Night, one of the Disneyland After Dark events. That'll be on April 12th, 14th, and 16th. Penny Proud from the Proud Family, the animated Disney Channel show, will make her Disneyland debut. Eric, I wanted you to know that there is an Agent P churro.
Awesome. Can't wait. Hopefully it's still here in April when I go.
They gave no details on what it is, but it is blue. So
It's got to be blue. I was going to say it'd
yeah.
have to be like blue with a hat on it.
Yeah, I want them to like hand it to you, and so you can be like, oh, a churro, and then they put a little hat on it, and you go, Perry the churro.
Yes.
A little chocolate top hat or something.
'Cause
Yeah,
nobody
yeah,
would
yeah.
recognize him without the hat, right? He'd just be a platypus.
Right.
Exactly. All right, we got a couple pieces of Universal news to touch on, and then we'll get into some Royal Caribbean talk. But Epic Universe is still not operating at full capacity. So this was announced during an earnings call recently that the park is still not quite to full capacity just yet, and they do intend for it to reach full capacity by the end of the year. Hopefully that means we get annual passes added for Epic Universe next year, so I can be there pretty much every day. Has anybody here, Raylene, have you been to Epic Universe yet?
I did, yeah, but I went during like the preview event.
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay.
So it was not everything was up. It wasn't even close to full capacity.
Yeah.
I have clients actually going next week, and they were just asking me my opinion. And I had clients who went in January, and they actually said that they enjoyed it a lot better in the evening. That
Okay.
it was very bottleneck for like the like rope drop.
Sure.
They said
Yeah,
it
that
was
makes sense.
and when I was there, it was not organized, and I was hoping they'd gotten their stuff together, but she said it was horrible. And she said they enjoyed it much better. They went back a couple of evenings, and she said it was a lot better.
Yeah, that makes sense with park hopping becoming an option there. And first of all, it's just a beautiful park at night anyway, so it's a really great experience at night. But yeah, I also got to visit during those previews, and it was definitely a different experience then. My last visit was all the way back in October, so I haven't really seen even what they're at recently. My wife did get to go in December. She said it was feeling much more crowded then. But this park is so different in terms of the layout, and like everything is so wide and spread out, especially in that sort of central hub, Celestial Park. Everything, the sidewalks and everything are so wide. There's really not those choke points that you find in a lot of other theme parks. So I expect the traffic flow to be a little bit more convenient when it is at full capacity. But that being said, I mean, now is the time to go. Now is the time to visit Epic Universe before they do reach full capacity. And then, until the buzz of it being the brand new thing dies off a little bit, it'll probably be at capacity for a long time. So just something to keep in mind when you're planning your Universal vacation. And then the only other piece of Universal news I wanted to talk about is that Universal Mardi Gras is kicking off this weekend, actually, as of the release of this episode. If you want to hear about the event, Eric and I talked about it at length in our last episode, so you can go back and check that out. I love Universal Mardi Gras. Highly recommend checking it out. It is so much fun.
Get your beads now.
Yes.
We
And
actually
you will-
went last year, and my kids were like, "We don't want to do this parade," but we made them do it, and they had a blast. And we came home with a lot of beads.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you can absolutely leave with a ton of beads. There's actually one piece of Royal Caribbean news that I wanted to talk about before we get into your vacation, Raylene. Royal Caribbean has announced that they are partnering with, here we go, the French pronunciation. Brian, I
Let
will
Brian
spare
do
you.
it.
Oh,
Let
do we-
Brian do it. He's French.
I'm not French. What?
Bonador sounds like it could be French, depending on how you
It's-
pronounce it.
It's German/Swedish.
It's close enough.
He lied.
What do you mean close enough? There's a
The same
complete
continent. You're good.
different countries.
Do you want to take a shot at it, Brian?
No, but I will. I'm not gonna try with a French accent though. That ain't
No,
happening.
that's fair.
Um, Chantiers de Atlantique
That's
shipyard.
pretty close to what I was gonna say too. Yeah,
Okay.
Chantiers de
Hey, look
Atlantique.
at
Yeah.
that. There you go. Wow.
Yeah.
Mike was gonna do it in a French accent though.
That-
No, that's gonna be for like behind the scenes or something. Maybe I don't know.
we'll just call them Chantiers for the sake of moving along quicker. They're partnering with Chantiers Shipyard to build the new Discovery class of ships. The first ship set to debut in 2029. This is a shipyard that they partnered with before for, I believe the number was like 21 of their ships, so it's not anything new with the partnership. But this new Discovery class sounds, I'm excited to see what Royal Caribbean could possibly throw at us next, with the Icon class being so massive and, like Raylene was talking about these mega ships out there. Curious to see where they go from here.
Do we know anything about the Discovery class ships? I haven't really seen anything on it. Are they like bigger, smaller than Icon?
I believe the idea, I think, is they're going back to being smaller. They haven't really released official details. There are some quotes from the executives at Royal Caribbean that I unfortunately don't have in front of me. I can try and pull them up in a second here, but the idea is like getting the guest closer to, I don't want to say nature because obviously it's just the ocean, but like to the experience as a whole. So as opposed to it being like this gigantic, larger than life experience, it's about being a little bit more intimate. So yeah, it should be a little bit different. I'm excited to see where they go with that.
Getting guests closer together.
I mean, I guess so. That's also part of it. Raylene, I'm curious to see how you feel about this because, like you said, you are going on one of these mega ships for the first time. How do you feel about it potentially being the next line of ships being a little bit smaller?
I mean, I feel like the smaller ships, you have these big ships and you can't get into some of these ports. So,
That's
there's
fair.
there's pluses and minuses to these big ships. Or, I feel like right now they just dropped these Wonder of the Seas is doing 3 and 4 nights to the Bahamas. And I don't feel like they're able to fill the ships. I've seen some crazy deals. I just sent 2 people for 3 nights on Wonder for $530. So I feel like if they keep building these bigger ships, they're not gonna be able are they gonna be able to fill them? Or are they, seeing that they're having a hard time filling these now Wonder is like their oldest big ship,
Right.
but are they looking in the future and saying, "Okay, we now have these Icon, we have Star, we have Legend, Utopia. If we keep building big ships, are we gonna be able to fill them, or do we need to drop down to smaller ships?" Because the Discovery class is gonna be a smaller ship than the Icon, like the Icon classes.
Yes.
Even smaller than the Oasis classes, I believe.
Oh,
Uh,
That's
I hadn't seen
kind
that.
of tiny.
I believe so. It definitely from what I've seen, they're definitely gonna be more like of like an Independence, Liberty, like those more like midships, smaller ships.
Interesting.
But I just pricing that I have seen on these big ships, like I said, basically Wonder, because that is not the newest. So right now, everybody, those Icon commercials blasted us for 6 months. So everybody knows about that.
Yep.
That I feel like Wonder, I feel like they're having a hard time filling them.
Interesting. Yeah, it'll definitely be interesting to see what direction, how this impacts the really the cruising industry as a whole, because obviously Royal Caribbean is a leader in the industry. I do have a quote here from Michael Bailey, president and CEO of Royal Caribbean. The Discovery class introduces a bold new concept that puts our guests at the center of it all. It will deliver extraordinary one-of-a-kind experiences, from cutting-edge design to immersive moments, every detail crafted to surprise and delight guests in ways they've never imagined, all while visiting truly breathtaking destinations around the world. So, a little bit of detail there, but not, it's really just sort of the buzzword hype
There
for
was a
the,
lot of non-detail in that little bit of detail. This is going to be
yes.
very cool and very nice and unique experiences.
Right. Yeah. But I don't know. I got the vibe, the feeling that they are going for more of a, you know, I guess anti-mega ship experience with this line.
Boutique ship.
So yeah, we'll see. We'll see how that goes. But we have more Royal Caribbean to talk about here because Raylene, we want to hear all about your recent cruise experience and any other, Royal Caribbean experience you have. So tell us about your Liberty of the Seas cruise.
So I just went, it was over that holiday weekend, whatever holidays in January. We had a Monday off, and I am a strong component of whenever we have a long weekend, we need to not be home. So we just did a 3-night cruise, and we did Liberty of the Seas, which I would say is like middle of the road ship. Um, we we did NASA and Coco Cay, which I don't know if you guys have seen the news about Coco Cay. Their pier just got damaged in the storm last week.
Oh, no. Did not see
So
that.
one side of it. So they can normally dock 2 ships. One side they can't dock right now. So there's changing some stops. Some ships are being rerouted to other destinations. Some are getting stuck out at sea for that day. Um, but they haven't given a timeline of when that's gonna be fixed, so I don't even know my cruise next week if I will be going to Coco Cay.
Interesting. Okay.
So, yeah, so it was just a 3-night cruise. We did not even get off the ship in NASA. We've been to NASA a handful of times. I've seen it, I've done it. We just enjoyed the boat, and it was great. And then in Coco Cay, we did get off and hung out at the beach for a little bit. The kids went to the free splash park, water park. And we had great food, great entertainment. The weather was great. You know, cruising this time of the year is kind of hit or miss. You're taking a little bit of a gamble.
Sure.
But it's always warmer than what it is in Buffalo. So I always gamble.
That's fair.
But we ended up with like very nice weather. The boat, because it was a weekend cruise, what I have found is when you do these weekend cruises, it's a lot of bachelor and bachelorette parties.
Oh, that
Um,
makes sense.
yeah, so which is fine. It was me, my 2 kids, my mother-in-law, my sister-in-law, my 3 nephews, and then 2 of my cousins. So we had a little bit of group of us. And yeah, I've been on that boat. I actually went last February on that boat, so this was my second time on it. Um, and then I've also done, which I know is like a very popular itinerary. We did Serenade of the Seas on Royal last summer,
Oh,
which
nice.
is
Okay.
definitely a smaller boat. But we were in Alaska for 7 days, so it
Oh,
was
yeah.
fine.
Yeah, that's obviously it's crazy, you think about people will say like, "Oh, I'm going on a cruise," and that could sometimes just be the end of the conversation when you're talking to somebody who doesn't really have experience with cruising. But going on a cruise means one of 1,000 different things. Like you talk about going on the Serenade, which is again on a much smaller ship in Alaska versus going down to the Bahamas
Mhm.
in on the Liberty. It's, a lot of different experiences you can get there. Um, Tell me about so the one thing I've heard from a lot of people who I've only been on Disney cruises recently. It's been a while since got to go on Royal Caribbean. But I hear a lot about the food being on just a different level with Royal Caribbean. Do you feel that that is the case as well?
I do. So, I mean, it's hit or miss. I did Disney, my last Disney cruise was about a year ago.
Okay.
Um, and then I've also done Carnival in between. And
Oh, okay.
there's pluses and minuses to all of them. If you've ever been on a Carnival, Guy's Burgers are out of this world.
Oh,
Um, Guy's Burgers and their fries by the pool, there's nothing better than that.
this is the
Um,
Guy Fieri restaurant, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's just like a burger place right by the pool, and it's just very yummy.
Very nice.
Um,
Can you say that name in a French accent, Mike?
I don't know if I can say it not in a French Guy Fieri. I don't know how else to say it.
so I this last cruise that we went on Liberty of the Seas, the food was really good, but I have to say the menu was the exact same as the last 3-day cruise I was on. So
Oh,
if you're on the same and it was the same itinerary, same boat, but a year apart, the food did not change at all. A year ago, we had horrible service in the dining room, and our food was just mediocre. This
mhm.
last time, our servers were amazing and our food was much better.
That's awesome.
Um, but I do have to say, Disney, their waiters, there's just something about them. They just get I don't know, they're just so good with the kids too, and the entertainment during
Sure.
dinner, is just another level.
Yeah, that I mean, that's kind of the Disney experience, generally speaking, at least, whether you're in the parks, on the cruise line, anything like that. But yeah, I have heard a lot of really good things about, and it was all more recently, like you're talking about this being a better experience with your food, as opposed to a year ago. So all of the feedback I've been hearing has been more recent. That all of the food on any ship, everybody I've talked to on various experiences has had just great food and can't stop raving about it. So I had to ask about that. So this was the Liberty. You said you also did the Serenade. Have you been on any other royal ships?
Independence of the
Okay.
Seas, and then Liberty a second time.
Okay, gotcha. And then you're going on the Wonder, you said?
Yes, Wonder
Nice.
next week.
Very cool. Um, so tell us about this upcoming on the Wonder then. Where are you going?
Well, we're supposed to be going to Coco Cay, but we'll see if
Right.
we get docked. And NASA, and we're doing it's literally the same itinerary, just flopped the days. And our plan is in NASA, again, we're not getting off the boat. There's so much stuff to do on the boats. My kids
Sure.
don't wanna get off,
Yeah.
especially on this mega ship. I feel like we're gonna have more than enough to do without getting off the boat. And then, Coco Cay we don't have anything booked. We'll just get off for a couple hours, dip our toes in the sand in the water. We take our own snorkel gear. That is one tip that I give my guests one day cruise is don't rent the snorkel gear, just buy your own and take it, and then you don't have to worry about whose mouth has been on it. And, I
Or
think we got
renting it again.
yeah. So we have our own that we take, and the kids use that to snorkel. But I'm excited to see these shows, the Aqua Theater on Wonder. I'm really excited. Because like I said, this is my first mega ship, so I'm excited to
Right.
see their shows and just the Abbey. So the big slide, the dry slide.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Mhm.
Very excited to try that.
So, Raylene, I have been on the Wonder. It's fantastic. You're actually gonna I think you'll really like it, and one of the cool things that people really don't pay attention to, though, is the ship onboarding experience, getting on, embarking onto the ship. It is so very efficient. You would not think that there's, like, 3, 5,000 of your closest friends getting on the boat all at the same time, but they do a very good job with that when it comes to the Icon class ships.
Good. I'm happy to hear that.
Very cool. I want to hear more about your approach. So you've been to Coco Key a few times now, right?
Yes.
Do you typically handle it like you're just gonna kind of wing it when you get there, or do you tend to book stuff in advance?
No. So whenever I go to any of the cruise lines, private islands or private destinations or whatever you want to call them, we never book anything. We just go to the beach. Coco Cay also has a huge pool. They have a couple different like lagoons. They also have pickleball and volleyball, and they have trying to think what else they just had. Foosball. So there's more than enough to do without spending any more money. I'm
Interesting.
all
Okay.
about not spending more so I can put it towards another vacation.
Yeah, that is a good way to think about it. Um, so obviously, we're focused on Royal Caribbean. Looking forward to your cruise. I can't wait to hear your thoughts on the Wonder now. But what other cruise lines have you sailed? You said you've done Disney, you've done Carnival. Have you any others?
No, those are the 3. So when I sell things, I really try and sell stuff that I'm familiar with.
Sure.
As you guys know, we can book basically anything.
Hmm.
But those are the 3 cruise lines that I try and cruise once a year so that I am most familiar with them so that I can really give my clients really firsthand experience, tips and tricks and, hey, if the app doesn't work for the safety video, don't freak out. It's okay. Or for Disney, prepare them to go and stand at the mustard station
Right,
with
right,
their
right.
kids that wanna do anything but stand there. So my goal is, in this coming year to get on, Virgin to experience that. I just have to
Okay, cool.
find a time to
Mhm.
do it.
Yeah, we should talk.
Yeah.
Off air, Raylene, you should give me a call and I can walk you through some of the Virgin stuff because I've been on 2 Virgin cruises so far.
Yeah,
Okay.
Eric
Some
is our
s
resident Virgin expert here.
It's just like,
some behind the scenes tips and tricks.
okay, I will. So I have to find a time to go. I have a tentative date in my head that I just have to make sure that everything else in my life aligns. And then I just call it research. And that makes me feel better for going.
Yeah, exactly. Um, I'm sorry, I'm cracking myself up over here at how I worded something moments ago. And
I picked up on it
yeah, I
immediately.
thought I could feel that Brian was laughing at it as well. Uh,
Yep.
we won't revisit that, but if you're listening, you probably know what I'm talking about. Um,
I'm surprised I let that one go.
yes, I am too, actually.
I was too, yeah.
It was all I could do.
So really, you've been on a few cruise lines. Then what do you feel makes Royal Caribbean different? And like, why should people go for Royal Caribbean? Like, what experience do they provide that people aren't going to get on a different cruise line?
I feel like they're very I feel like for a family, especially like a multi-generational family, they have something for everybody. Where Disney,
Okay,
I know they promote there's a lot of stuff for families, but I just feel like Royal does a really good job of making sure that there's something for everybody in that family to do. And I really like how, and this is for any type of cruise, you can do as much or as little as you want. Um, if you wanna just sit by the pool all day, you can do that, or if you wanna go play 5 rounds of some type of trivia, you can do that too. So Royal, I feel like their price tag is, middle of the road, so you get what you pay for, right? So, some of the other cruise lines, you might pay less, but your quality of your food and your entertainment is not gonna be as good. So I feel like you get the most bang for your buck with Royal. And as a travel agent, they are super easy to deal with. I feel like if I ever have any problems with my clients, I can call them up and it's handled right away.
nice.
Um, and I know also on board when clients have had minor issues, they've been handled properly and quickly. And to me as a travel agent, I also want to know that when I'm sending my clients to these places that when I can't be there, that they're being treated right.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's huge because that's a level of worry that kind of gets removed when you are traveling. I haven't had any issues that I've had to have anything solved for me on a cruise. Brian and Eric, you guys know what it's like to travel with Shannon, who just has like these bad luck cloud every time she
Oh,
travels.
she's a schlep rock, a cruise schlep
Yeah.
rock.
So yeah, it's definitely nice to have the customer service there to just solve those problems for you on the go. So um, I have one more question for you, Raylene, and we kind of already talked about Perfect Day at Coco Key, and but I want to know if you have any experience with. I'm assuming not because the timeline doesn't really line up now. But Royal Beach Club, the new private destination for Royal Caribbean, I would imagine you've at least looked into it a little bit.
Yeah, so we were on the fence of whether or not we wanted to do it on this last trip. However, the time of the year, again, January is hit or miss. And I said, what if we spend this money? I think it was about $100 a person,
Yeah, something
and
like that.
it's miserable and it's, sprinkling. It's just
Right.
not nice. So we didn't do it, but I have asked people, because I'm a talker. So when I get on the boat and I start talking to people, like I, ask them what they did and I get their experiences. And we talked to a couple people on this last sailing who did it, and they said it was a big party scene. They said that it was pretty rambunctious and
Okay.
more of a party scene, which made me feel better about not going just because I had my kid.
Sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But
That makes perfect sense.
that also, again, was a weekend cruise with a lot of bachelor and bachelorette
Right.
parties, so if you went in the middle of the week, the vibe might be completely different.
Yeah, it's a good
But I
point.
have to say, I like that Royal's given you that option in NASA because a lot of cruise ships go to NASA, so if you've been on
Yeah.
more than 2 cruises, you've probably been to NASA at least once, so to have something different to do, I do think that Royal kind of did good with that.
Agreed, and it looks beautiful too. It's definitely, and I've heard the same thing, that it's like a big party vibe, which is not exactly something I'm looking for on my cruises, but a lot of people are. So it makes a lot of sense, and it definitely looks like a good time. Um,
I'm
Eric,
excited for their perfect day in Mexico.
yes, that also looks. I mean, only through concept art so far, but definitely looks really, really cool. Eric, I imagine you've looked into Perfect Day a little bit as well.
Yeah, I like
Or not
Perfect
Perfect
Day.
Day, sorry,
Oh, sorry.
Royal Beach Club.
Yeah, I've looked at Royal Beach Club too. I would like to do it. I think Brian is the party guy of the podcast, so we'll have to
Of
maybe
course, that
hook
goes
him
without
up with
saying.
that one day.
I'm up for it.
I want a vlog of sending Brian to Royal Beach Club. I think that would be a good one for our YouTube channel.
Yeah,
I'll
as
do
our
it.
resident bachelor.
I'll get every shot.
Now, have you
Well,
guys heard a lot about, this was a question that I wasn't sure about, because 'cause they're using those, like, little tender boats to take the guests to that
mhm.
Royal Beach Club. Have they had a lot of problems weather-wise with not being able to take guests?
Oh, I haven't heard anything about any weather issues. I only know one person that has visited, and he had nice weather when he was there, and the little boat ride over there was like a minute long, and it was super easy. So it is a very short stretch to kind of traverse over there. So I would imagine, unless it's like really bad, I would imagine they're not going to have any issues. But that's just kind of me guessing based off what I've seen.
Yeah, I was just curious because I know, like, some of these, ports that you tender in, if the weather's, even a little choppy, they don't take you in.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I guess it hasn't been open very long. It only opened in what, at the end of December, or was it beginning of January?
I think, like, right after Christmas.
Yeah. So it's only been open for like a month now. So probably not a ton of feedback in those situations just yet, but we'll definitely hear more about it in the future, I'm sure. So that was all the questions I had for Raylene, Eric, and Brian. I don't want to cut you guys off if you had anything else you wanted to bring up.
Yeah, it's too late. You already did. No, I mean, I would like to do more Royal Caribbean
Yeah, me too.
cruises. I've only been on one, and I'd like to do more of them. So maybe I'll hit Raylene offline, and we can trade trips. Or sorry, trade tips.
Yes.
Um, yeah, I've been on a couple. It's been a long time though. I was on the Quantum of the Seas when that debuted back in 2014, and that was a lot of fun. And then my other one was like 2009. So it's been a long time since I've been on a Royal Caribbean cruise, and I definitely want to change that because some of these ships are just looking really, really awesome.
The only thing I would like to have more ships out on the West Coast that I could get on,
That's fair. Yeah.
right? Because that whole 5.5 hour, 6 hour flight down to Florida tends to you
Yeah.
know
But there's
add a little
really
bit of
good
excitement to your
deals.
day.
Your West Coast, there's some really cheap cruises going out of there.
I haven't seen a
Yeah,
lot
but
of San
never
Diego, but that's still a
empanada.
long trip for you.
San Diego, I can drive. That's
Sure, but it's a
right,
long drive.
right. But I don't know. I'm kind of done with Mexico. I've
It's
seen
fair.
it, done it, been there. I don't know, and I really don't want to freeze in Alaska.
Can
Been
I tell
talking
you
to a
though?
lot of advisors lately who are doing Hawaii cruises, Eric.
Yeah,
That could be a fun option.
it
And
could
Eric,
be.
when I went to Alaska, it was like 80 degrees.
Oh, nice.
When we got on in Vancouver and it was like 80. We were in tank tops and shorts, and then it never got below 60 and we never had one drop of rain.
Wow.
See, but if I want Alaska, I wanna be like Yukon cold, right? I mean, I wanna
Oh, yeah,
go up
no.
there and experience Alaska in all of its frozen glory.
Nope,
There you
nope.
go. Raylene's like, that's just home for
Well,
me.
she lives
That's
in
Right.
Buffalo, so I mean, she's from
That's outside
Buffalo,
right
so
now. Yeah.
yeah.
Right. The icicles hanging off my house right now.
see, it's like 60 degrees here in Northern California, so ugh,
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have to talk about Orlando weather.
I'm gonna rub that in,
Um,
Brian.
Yeah. It's 6 right now. It is 6.
anytime it's one digit, it's not a good time.
No.
I definitely want to do an Alaskan cruise. That's a bucket list thing for me as well at some point too. But well, Raylene, this was awesome. A lot of great information on Royal Caribbean, and thank you for sharing your experience with us. Want to give you the chance to let the listeners know how can they reach out to you to start planning their Royal Caribbean cruise.
So I have a Facebook page called Destinations to Travel with Raylene, and I have an unusual name, so it's just
It'll be in the
R-A.
description, don't worry.
Oh, okay, perfect. So that on there, I post tips and tricks. I post cruise deals. I just posted one today for my East Coast folks out of New York City to Bermuda. I think it was like 6 nights for like $1,000 for 2 people. So for those
Nice.
people that don't like to fly. So I throw different cruise deals out there. I do Disney things too, and then so follow that, and then my email address is always on my post of how to reach out to me.
Great. All right. Let's get into a game here because that's what we like to do is end this podcast on some nonsense as if we haven't had enough already. So we are going to do we're going to keep it cruise related. We're going to stay on the topic of cruising here, but we're going to do a little would you rather here, and where we've all come up with a cruise related would you rather question that we're going to pose to the group. And hopefully we've got some tough ones here. Does anybody want to kick us off?
I'll kick us
I'm not
off. I think you
Okay.
guys
Yeah.
will know
Guess
the
go
Alright,
first.
Yeah.
I think you'll know the answer to mine based on what I've just said.
Okay.
But would you rather stay on the boat or get off when you're in port?
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
it
That's
depends.
yeah, that's tough. That's tough because it depends on the ship you're on and how much you've already experienced on that ship. I am typically, though, generally speaking, I am a stay on the ship kind of guy. Of course, I have unique experiences with my recent cruises. They've all been work related, and I am trying to cover every inch of the new Disney Cruise Line ships. So that's a little bit of a different experience for sure. But generally speaking, the ships have so much to do and see that I don't need to get off the ship. Yeah, maybe it's a port that I really, really want to get off and see, but um, I will go with stay on the ship.
I'm with Mike on this one. Same exact thought process. It depends on like where the port's at,
Sure.
right? Or I want to get off, check it out, and snag some photos or whatnot. But usually, yeah, there's so much on a ship that you don't even get to see all of it, if even half of it, by
Right.
the time your cruise is done.
Hmm. You guys are kind of lame. Um, I like to go. I like to get off selectively, right? I mean, there are some
Sure.
ports that I've been to multiple times that I don't need to go, but I'd like to get off and go shopping. Especially like look at watches and things like that. Not that I can actually afford to buy them, but I do like to window shop and pretend like I have that kind of money. Um, and experience like local restaurants and stuff too, and try to get off of the away from the port. While the port is great, where it makes sense to go off of the port. Like Shannon, Troy, and I and my wife Nora, we went to this fantastic Mexican restaurant, and it was like a nice long walk away from the port. Like the last time we were in Mexico for a cruise, and it was really just neat to see everything. It was right on the water. Fantastic food, great scenery, and just go discover places like that.
I'm glad you clarified that this cruise was to Mexico for your Mexican restaurant. You didn't go to like a Mexican restaurant in the Bahamas or something.
No, I didn't go to like a Chinese restaurant in China. Right? It was definitely a very nice family run restaurant with like this big open veranda
Nice.
and just a really amazing food.
Yeah, I mean that kind of experience. Absolutely, I am on board. I just if you're keeping it broad, I would say more often than not, I'm probably going to stay on the ship. Um, Eric, you want to go next?
Yeah, mine's a little esoteric, sort of, but you would have it no other way. But let's see, would you rather a vacation where time slows down so it feels twice as long, or one that flies by, but everyone insists it was a life-changing experience?
Huh.
Um, Time slows. I really want to
Yeah.
enjoy my vacations.
I'm gonna be different and say life changing because
Oh
I think
man.
vacations
Okay.
are all about the experiences and what you take from it into your everyday life.
It's true. So am I to
Good
assume then,
point.
like,
Yeah.
if time is slowing down and it feels like it's taking longer, is that it's not as good as an experience?
No, it doesn't feels like it's taking longer, but you still have a great experience, right?
Okay.
So
All right.
it's just that you feel like, instead of being on a 3-day weekend vacation or 3-day cruise, that cruise feels like it's 7 days, and there's
Okay.
just awesome stuff to do. and you get
Yeah.
a lot out of it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with that one. I'm gonna slow it down. I want that's the exact opposite of what I was just talking about. Like all my recent cruise experiences, everything has just been running around everywhere. I need a cruise where I can just kind of relax and just let everything slow down for me for a little bit. So that's what I'm gonna go with.
Yeah, I'd like to get more spa time. That would be good.
Yeah, that does sound nice.
Mhm.
Brian, do you want to go next or do you want to close us down?
I'll go next.
Okay.
So mine's kind of just a little ridiculous.
Okay.
So would you rather be on a cruise for an entire week, 7 days, but there's only 3 songs that play on the entire ship on repeat? Or would you rather be on a cruise where you've got free food, free drinks, free excursions, free spa, but anytime at the end of the night when you want to go back to your cabin, your room, you got to complete a scavenger hunt for your key?
What are the 3 songs?
That's a good question.
At
Very
least
good
one of
question.
them is going to be a Maroon 5 song.
It's so specific. Yeah, I was waiting for you to say like Baby Shark or something. Oh man. Yeah, no, that is a fantastic question,
Oh,
Raylene, because that really
Shark.
does change things. At least one of them is a Maroon 5 song. I don't like the "at least" in that portion there. It implies it could be all 3. Um, man.
See, the other 2 songs could be really good, but do you want to take that chance?
And even, yeah, after a full week of listening to just those 3 songs. You know what? I don't wanna have to do the scavenger hunt every night when I'm exhausted after a long day. I will tune out the music as much as possible.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, I can live with 3 songs on repeat because I don't have to be, I don't have to listen to them everywhere, right? So there are gonna be places where they're not gonna be playing the songs, so I'm gonna
Yeah,
go
just get
with,
off
No,
the ship.
they're gonna be playing on the entire ship the entire time.
even in my bathroom in my cabin,
Yes. Yep.
my stateroom.
Oh, are they
Yep.
playing, like, all night long too? Like, you're not gonna be able to sleep?
Uh, it's very quiet and very faint, but it's still kind of playing.
Okay,
This is
alright.
why you bring a sound machine.
Yeah, there you go.
There you
There
go.
you go.
Right, Graylene's
Raylene's
I'm
talking to
still
our next
going.
clients, just like, "Yeah, they play the same 3 songs on loop the entire cruise. You really want this sound machine." Um, Raylene,
I don't know,
what
the
is
other
your
thing.
answer for this?
Oh, I'm no good at scavenger hunts, so I will be listening to those 3 songs,
Yeah,
whatever they be.
yeah.
Well, I was thinking about the redundancy of it all because, like, most of the food is pretty much free, and if you buy a drink package, you're kinda covering your bases there, so I don't know.
So are you going with the songs or
I'm gonna have to go with the songs
Yeah.
because, I can tune out the songs and, drink myself into a stupor so I don't have to hear it
Then you
anymore.
fall
Then
asleep
you
to
then
it.
you
Yeah.
start singing your own songs anyway.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay, I'll shut us down here with this last one. Would you rather pick your dream cruise? You pick the ship, the itinerary, your stateroom, whatever you want it to be, and you get to sail it for free one time, or you get one free cruise every year, but you don't know any of the details. You don't know the cruise line, the itinerary, the ship, nothing
Until the day of when you get there?
until you're on the ship.
Okay.
I like that.
What's life without whimsy? Yeah, I'll take the second
Yeah.
choice.
Okay?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the free room of cabin of my, presidential
Yeah.
at the front of the icon or something like that, right? That would be worth it for me.
That's fair, yeah. Raylene, what about you?
Oh, I'm taking the free cruises, I don't care where they go. I don't care
That's
where my
yeah.
cruises go now.
Yeah, I do agree with that. It's more about the not knowing what ship or what stateroom you have when you get on the ship. Um, but I do think I might choose that too. Although, like 14 nights on, I don't know, with the Destiny and like the tunnel suite there, the funnel suite. Um, yeah,
Tunnels,
there's a
the
tunnel suite.
tunnels.
Yeah, there's a suite that goes underneath the ship. Actually, it's in a tunnel. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
the tower suite is what I was looking for.
right.
Um, that yeah, like that sounds very tempting. But I think the one free cruise every year and just just going on vacation and not knowing what it's going to be. I'm very type A and like want to plan all the details and everything, as most of us are here. We're a travel agency. Um, but the one the one vacation, quote unquote vacation, my bachelor party that I got to go on and just kind of turn off my brain and let other people handle all of the details. That was so much fun. So having that on this type of cruise would be a really cool experience, I think.
Yeah, see, I'd take a 30-day cruise in the tunnel suite any day of the week.
Right?
That does sound very nice. Yeah. Maybe not the tunnel suite, but the tower suite does sound really good.
Yeah, it'd be like floating apartment, 2 stories, butler service,
Yeah.
champagne to wash my teeth, brush my teeth with.
Um, yeah, I mean, even right now you're selling me on it. I kind of want to go back to that, but no, I'll stick to the free cruise every year for the rest of my life. All right, so that was our game. We're gonna jump into our final segment, which is our deal of the week, and of course, we are still talking Royal Caribbean here. You can get 60% off of your second guest, and kids sail free on Royal Caribbean cruises. Ask your destinations to travel advisor for more information. That's an awesome deal right there. I was actually looking when I saw that deal come up. I was like, I should look at a cruise. I should try and plan something for this year. But again, thank you to Raylene for joining us today to share your experience. And why don't you go ahead and give us your email address one more time so the listeners can reach out to you to start planning their cruise.
Of course, it's rcoogan@d2travel.com.
Yeah, and Eric, I mean, I know you're just itching to get your email out there too.
Now I am always looking for self-promotion, so that would be my full name because I don't get the cool, like, first initial, last name thing like Raylene does, but, it's, Eric Hiles, ERICHILES @2travel.com.
Yeah,
24/7.
every time I read that, I'm like, who is Eric Chiles? I don't know who this.
Chiles, yes.
Air Chiles.
Somebody
Uh,
called me, Mr. Chiles, how can I help you?
And if you want to email me or Brian, we can't book your trips for you. But if you just want to talk, you can reach out to us as well. But you can reach out to Destination Travel as a whole, info@d2travel.com if you have any questions or want to just get in touch with any of our advisors. Raylene, thank you again. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, thanks for having me. And can I just say one thing too about Royal Caribbean is
Of
we
course.
normally, it, every advisor is different, but we have, as a whole, as an agency, we have access to a lot of group rates that if you go online, you don't have access to as an individual. But as a travel agency, we have access to different group rates, a lot of times different onboard credit that you can't get if you book by yourself. And our services are 100% free.
Yes, I'm glad you threw that in there. I was definitely just going to jump in and say that as well. Destinations Travel Advisor will cost you nothing, and their services are so incredibly valuable. So again, reach out to Eric or Raylene or any of our amazing advisors to start planning your next vacation. Guys, that's going to do it for us this week. We will be back in a couple of weeks. Fun as always. Brian, Eric, talk to you again in a couple weeks.
Yeah, looking
Sounds
forward
good.
to it. Brian, stay out of trouble, and,
I'll
looking
try my
forward
best.
to connect with everybody next show.
Yeah, same here. See you all real soon, everyone. Bye.
Bye.